What's going on, guys? I'm your host Patrick, and today we have on the top left we have Vicky Boy, and on the top right we have Dan. Today we're going to be doing a fantasy football draft strategy, basically for those who have round one, pick one, or if you're all the way dead last in your league, what you should be doing, what you shouldn't be doing, and kind of talking about what to do here in the later round if possible. Just to kind of give people, especially newer people who are just coming into the world of fantasy football, what do you guys feel people should be doing here if you have the first or even the last pick in the draft? Or where do you guys go if you guys have these kinds of picks?
First pick for me is pretty much simple. If you have the first pick, you want to usually go wide receiver, running back, tight end. You don't want to take a quarterback until you reach the probably fourth, fifth round. But then again, depending on what league you're in, some quarterbacks are going to go off the board quick, and that might urge you to jump on and pick up a quarterback if you see these big names going off your draft board. But I say the main thing to do is look for the quarterback in the fifth round or even fourth round. You want to find those high value targets and weapons that are going to give you fantasy points early because they're going to go crazy, especially this year with how some people have high hopes on other talent that's coming into the league.
Okay, all right, fair enough. What do you got here for fantasy?
Yeah, I mean, in totality, and plus just in our draft too. Like, I know we're doing a random draft like an hour before, so it's really your strategy is just going to lie on where you land. Whether it's early, you're going to take those high elite players that are going to produce and give you those high fantasy points on a weekly basis. Obviously, you're never going to know if they're going to be injured or not. So, but you're going to take high picks. You're going to take. You're going to take those names that do produce on a weekly basis. If you've been in the league, and if you haven't, you don't need to know much. You just need to know you just need to know names. Like, yo, you could go and Google like who are the top 10 best players in the league last year, and 10 out of 10 times those are probably going to be the higher end fantasy point guys that are producing, just because they played all year long, their stats show it, and that's all it's going to take. If you're healthy and you playing solid football, like high end solid football year round, you're going to get high fantasy points on a weekly basis at that position. So like if you're high, the 1, 2s, and 3s, you're getting high player talent. If you're low and you're in the 8s, 9s, and 10s, and I'm drafting, I'm doing like pairing picks. You know what I mean? Like, try and pair your picks up together. Like if you're 8 or 9, then you're coming back. You don't have a long wait. You got 2 or 3. You're coming back. If you're on snake, you're going to be a second or third in the next round. And like kind of pair up. You can build your team on pairs. If you're like, all right, I know I'm 8 and I like this receiver, and you see another receiver that's most likely going to be up there because you're up next, you can bang out 2 receivers. Then you could bang out 2 running backs. Then you could look to go quarterback, or you could go tight end, or whatever it's going to be. I would pair. And then when you're in the middle is a sweet spot too. Like everyone frowns upon the middle, but the middle is you still are high. Like if you're 4, 5, or 6, still high enough to get a pretty dominant player. You're still going to get a first 5 to 10 pick in that first round, but you get to evaluate at that position. You get to see what everyone else is picking, what position groups are going, and see what's there. But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, yeah, you should go have running back or tight end. Like you really just got to draft where you land, and understand that, because you can't just build your draft on like, all right, I'm going to go this way, because it just never goes the way that you want it to go. You could have a specific set of players that you're looking to go in, but I would not look at players. I'd look at the positions, build your team around the positions, and then evaluate the player grades that you're going to build your team on in that sense. Because if you're like looking at one player and he goes and you have no plan on like, oh, well, I was going to go for that guy, and you only got 2 minutes now to make your next pick, like, like for me, like I'm going to draft off of positions. Like I'm going to clear a wave of positions that I want to start with, and then I'm going to go into my next round and do the same thing, and for me, it's more organized to do it that way when I can break it down and just bang out position by position. Now, if there's someone still up there and I'm like, how the hell is he still up there? I might break my strategy up and go grab him, just because I'm like, you know what? He's no way he's going to be there in the 6th round when he should have been gone in 4. Then I probably will break. But, for me, I got to keep it organized and disciplined. So like to bang out positions is what I'm going to try and do. Unless I got number 1, obviously, then that changes it. Like, and it's really off of like elite talent, but I'm still gonna do it in groups. Like I wouldn't go halfback and then receiver. Like if I got Gibbs at 1, I'm gonna take another running back that very next round because hopefully there's another solid enough running
If a
back
running
up
back's
there.
available
It
at
depends. Yes, plus it
nine
depends because
nine next
if
round.
you're at if you're at 1, then you got to wait that whole round plus the end of the whole next round and see if there's anything up there. But there's definitely gonna be running backs up there. You know what I mean? It's just, do I want to go and get the running back when there's a receiver up there? Like, you got, this is where this is where a little bit of the knowledge has to come in. You got to be like, and your bench is just as important as your starting. Everyone just tries to draft their team and get the best players for their lineup, bro. But you cannot predict who's going down. You're going to constantly be going to that free agency trying to get drops, and you don't get your picks every time you want them. It goes to the lower tier guys. So your bench is just as important as your starting roster. So put that into your head. Even when you see a receiver up there that you think, oh man, this guy should be, take it from last year I did it with Nico Collins. I was like, yeah, there's no way this guy's gonna be phenomenal. And he was dog duty cheeks, bro. Almost all season.
Yeah, but when he
long for
was
me.
doing phenomenal for you, you always
It
take
wasn't
game into
enough
our
though.
goals
It wasn't
and be like,
consistent
wow,
enough.
he's doing
Wasn't
great.
consistent yeah, but it wasn't consistent enough. Now looking back at it, like if there's no consistency, I would have rather grabbed another solid, consistent running back because then I could just plug in and play and put him at a flex position. So I'm gonna strictly try my best to stay pairing 2 positions in this draft and not stray off and just go, oh yeah, I should get this guy, because really it all sounds good until they start playing, bro. Like we can't predict how they're gonna do.
To be fair, it also really depends on how you do your fantasy league. Because I know you guys are doing a fantasy league this year for more money than last year. So there is more incentive to actually focus on how you're going to draft your team.
Well, we didn't even play
on
for
who
any
you're
money
picking.
last year.
Yeah,
Well,
didn't end up
we
playing.
didn't. I did, but I played for money, but not us.
But it really all depends on how your league is set up. If you're in a money league, you want to take the Vic Moore strategy, and if not, you want to go in it and be like, okay, take the players that you know are going to produce for you and have the production value on the team, and look at that, and look at what they've done in college, their production in college. This all comes into play when you're looking at fantasy. It's not just about how talented a player is, it's about the roster they have, what kind of talent they have around him, how many snaps they're going to get a game. It's a lot when you look at fantasy. It's more in depth than just doing let's say a Madden fantasy draft or something like that, where you know a player is how you're going to play them. You never know how the player's going to play week to week in fantasy.
Yeah, see, for me, like I'm looking at the team, right? So it's like if I want to draft a guy, like there are some talented guys that I just won't draft just because I'm like, okay, maybe this guy's not going to get the ball nearly as much as I think he will, or whatever the case is. Just like how Dan had just kind of similarly said, just it's going to depend on how much usage he's going to get, and is he injury prone? Is he good? Like someone like Malik Neighbors, right? He's talented. We know he's talented, but for me, I'm not drafting him. He's like a guy that I don't stretch for, because I don't know what he's going to give you now on his second season coming out of injury. Like he's had an injury last season, had an injury the season before, and now he's coming into his next season here, and I don't know how good he's going to play. I still think he's greatly talented, but does he play that way for a long time? Same thing with guys like Scatabo. Scatabo had a great season last year until he got injured, and he was also injury prone in college. Now, do I start him? Is he going to be, oh man, I got to pick him up. Let me put him up. He's the starter for the Giants. They're going to run. Let's go ahead. Like, I don't know if they're going to play with that. And, it's really just all going to depend on the player that you're choosing. You want to, if you're picking high up early in the draft, make sure that you're choosing a guy that first off, isn't injury prone. Secondly, as well as, if possible, is going to get the most usage possible. Because you're going to get a guy that obviously is talented, especially if you're early on into your first round, right? If you're pick number 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5, you're most likely guaranteed to get, that's going to be like, I think like the cornerstone of who you're going for in your fantasy draft, and what you should like that's to me is a guy that you're looking to be your point producer week in, week out. So it's like if you're choosing someone that had a great season last year but has had no prior thing to that, like if they've never had a great season prior to that and they've been mediocre every other season, then you're kind of just gambling on the fact that he can repeat that success again, this upcoming year. And it's kind of hard. But some of the things I don't do, definitely, I'm not drafting QB in the first 4 or 5 rounds, maybe. I think I go QB if you're in a 10-man league, like what we're doing here. I think 10-man league, you safely go for him maybe round 5 or 6. But I wouldn't go any earlier than that personally. I think the first couple of rounds, you got to get your point producers that are going to play every game, as well as ones that are there. If you're in a full PPR league where you're going to get points per reception, then you definitely want to make sure that you're drafting guys are. If he's a wide receiver, does he get the ball a lot? Do you know if he's going to get a lot of yards? Not the fact that he's 6'5" and he's great because he can get a touchdown once every 5 games. You want to go, hey, he's getting the ball 7-8 times a game. He's getting this many yards. He's doing this. Is his offense high powered on the passing side? Is his QB good? Like all these things, you kind of want to look at those things because there are just factors that go into it. And it's very hard to decide. And I know people are going, well, why not draft a QB higher? For the newer guys that want to know why you shouldn't draft a QB higher, well, it's as simple as the fact that, QBs are it's a very hard freaking role to play, first off. Secondly, there's not many QBs in the league that you're taking that are going to give you the great amount of production, right? And QBs can easily, one pick, and it easily ruins their score for like the week. Like, you have to have a dominant game for them to actually put up a lot of points. If they put up 150 yards, 1 touchdown, you're really not getting much out of that for them. You're maybe getting like 15, it's like 16 points or something like that, 17 points. And that's not great. It's nothing crazy. It's not something you want to stretch for. Learn the rules of your league. Know if you're playing full PPR, point per reception, and understand that where you're going to end up going for it. I think that if you're playing in the later round, if you're drafting like 6 through 10, you definitely do, like Vic said, you want to pair your picks up, I think, a little bit, which is really good to do. I feel like if you're getting someone, if you are basing your stuff off positions, like, okay, right now I'm about to get back-to-back picks, or I got like 3 picks beforehand. Here's like a good 6 people that I know I would take here in the second round. Let me not reach for them, so then I can go ahead and go, all right, if I miss him, it's fine. But if you have someone that's an elite receiver or elite running back in round 1, take that guy and then pair it up. Maybe you go with your round 2 running back. If you still know there's an elite amount of running backs that are still there that are great, that can get a lot of rushing yards, take a running back in receiving in round 2, or go wide receiver if you feel there's not much left out there that can give you that high point production. Because remember, might be running back 2, but he's still starting. It's not that he's on the bench; he's still starting. So you still need that running back 2 to play really well. So if you're going with, man, I got Gibbs in round 1, and now I'm going to go with, Chase Brown from the Bengals. Like, no, come on, let's not do that. If you have a great receiver that's going to outproduce the likes of Chase Brown, make sure you pick smart. You want to go with okay, I know this guy could produce more than Chase Brown, even though Chase Brown isn't a bad running back. It's just, if
Just pray that your RB2 becomes an RB1 like he Dowdle did for me last year and put up 200 rushing yard games, and I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, so you got to know, it's very hard to decide what the strategy is, and like Dan said, it's really depend on what league you're playing in. Understand the rules, ask for the rules, and how many people in your league, because you can have a smaller league. We had a four-man league last year. It's like, yeah, you're going to get elite talent all the way till like round 12. But if you're in a 10-man league, the more people you have in your league, the less that talent.
Dry slim.
Yeah, so it's like you really got to decide. And then as well as rookies, if you guys are banking on rookies based off of what they did in college, remember, college is not the NFL. They might be good, but you don't know that because we have not seen them.
Use them as bench pieces.
Yeah, don't stretch for them.
Nobody's gonna. Don't get me wrong. Last year, my sleeper pick was definitely Mbuka. I don't think anybody expected a rookie receiver to come out and do what he did for the Buccaneers. And the amount of points he was getting me those first 4 to 5 weeks of fantasy was insane. I won some of my games just alone off the fact that he put up so many points.
Yeah,
but
if you're picking rookies, I'm letting you know right now, please don't pick them high up.
Leave them on your bench.
Please don't pick them high up. Don't pick them in the first 7-8 rounds. Please don't do that.
I
Don't
don't
do it.
know.
Yeah, you gotta do your
Love is
homework
gonna
on
be
rookies,
one of
yeah, 'cause
those
you gotta make
guys
sure
off
they're
the board in
starting,
the
too.
first 2 rounds. I'm telling you now.
All right,
Now,
hold
Love is
on,
gonna
hold
be
on, hold on. Watch
Jeremiah Love is gonna be one of those
pick
guys.
them.
Jeremiah Love,
Not for me.
Yes.
first
No.
rounds.
That boy's a bench running back for me.
What about Genty?
Okay.
How did Genty do for you last year?
Again,
Genty becomes the first or
Ah,
second round running back for
I
me this
know
year.
Genty for
And
me last
Hampton.
year was a bad pick because I didn't realize how bad the O line was going to be for the Raiders. But this year, Genty's going to have numbers are going to go up. I think they're going to run the ball more, the Raiders. I feel like the Cardinals, they know that their only threat is going to be for them to run the ball because they have no quarterback back there to help them. Jeremiah Love will be a top fantasy guy by the end of the year. And if you don't believe me now, come back to me at the end of your guys' season. See who picks up and starts Jeremiah Love and how many points he got in the year. He will be a top running back in fantasy this year.
all right. Wow. If you feel that, I don't know if
Same
you're
with Chase Brown.
okay. Let's not do this right now. I'm not
Okay.
starting with you. I'm not starting with you here. We're not doing.
Hey,
this.
you wanted to discuss fantasy. Let's
I wanted to
discuss
discuss
it.
I wanted to discuss fantasy. I didn't want to be in a fantasy. I wanted to discuss it. I'm not talking about living in a fantasy, Dan. God,
Okay. I'm not living in no fantasy.
you've been living in a fantasy.
Okay.
All right. Okay, well, we clearly have a lot of differing opinions, but no matter what, everyone's going to draft differently. Strategy is going to be differently, and we just kind of wanted to talk here about what you guys should and should not do, and little strategies to kind of help newer players or newer people that are going into fantasy leagues for their first time, especially if you're playing for money. Don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that just looks like the easiest.
Be that guy that takes
Oh.
Josh Allen with the third pick in the first round, please.
Yeah, let's not do that. And if you
No,
do
in
want
our
to do
draft,
that,
there's gonna be 6 quarterbacks gone by round 3.
And don't be that guy. Don't be that guy that auto picks, that lets ESPN or whatever you're using auto picks for you, because we'll run into a situation like last year where we had one guy do that, and he got Bijan Robinson and Saquon Barkley.
Don't be that guy
back to
that
back.
takes every running back in the first 6 rounds, bro. Don't be that guy that takes every running back in the whole league, and you're like, how the hell are we losing right now? Oh, well, there was no running backs left. This guy took the whole running back. Yeah, like, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
Bro, that was so
Don't
bad.
take everything.
but
That was
if you
so
guys-
bad last year.
If you guys
That's a
decide,
4-person thing.
if you guys decide to draft a QB in round 1, or if you're drafting rookies in the first 2 rounds, please invite us to your league, especially if you guys are playing for money. We would love to play. That's great. I
I'd
think.
love to take your money.
But no, but seriously, we hope this helps at all. But if you guys want to see, actually, we do have a fantasy draft live stream coming up. It'll be on Tuesday, September 1st. Live stream will be going up at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, and then the draft will be dropping at 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be doing a 10-man league. Come and join us, have some fun, enjoy the festivities.
I know you guys are doing this, but I would recommend doing the draft after preseason finishes. So you know who's healthy and who's available for week 1. Yeah. I would really highly recommend the draft being at the end of preseason. Not during preseason, after preseason.
Well, so
that's all I'll say for you guys.
I mean,
it is
that's
after,
it, September 1st. The first game is on the on the 9th, that Thursday.
Yep. So it'll be
That's
done.
it. That'll be the last weekend.
Yeah,
so
I just hate doing. I personally hate
the last
doing
weekend of
fantasy
football
drafts.
coming up.
Yeah, and then that's it.
Then
Now
it's the
we're-
bye week.
Then we're on a bye week.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
we're
I hate
coming in.
doing fantasy drafts during preseason because you never
Yeah, it
know.
doesn't make any sense.
Never
Because
makes
you
any
could get a
sense.
guy and then he's out,
That-
tears his ACL, and you're like, whoa, can we redo the draft? No.
That's the
Should
biggest.
have grabbed a better.
That is the biggest probably tip. Don't do early drafts. I never understand why people do early drafts unless they're like betting that, like, oh yeah, this guy's gonna be good if they play. It's like, come on, let's not do that. That's how you get like a whole team of injured guys. And like Vic said, like you're gonna want to restart the draft, or you're gonna cry about it, or you're gonna say, oh, well, if my guy wasn't injured before the game, like, okay, well then you should have known that. Like you should have waited until preseason ended at the very least, and then start everything up. But come join us September 1st, Tuesday. It'll be a Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. We'll be starting up. 8 o'clock p.m. will be the draft. We'll be touching up on more fantasy draft strategies and whatnot, and just kind of going over things, before the stream starts, before the draft starts. If you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys again on the next video. Have a good one, guys.